Thank you for tuning in to the Afternoon Pint. This episode is sponsored by Camilla Najat of Exit Realty, Strategy Up Business Consultants, and ISS Atlantic Security Guard Services. Enjoy the show.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Finally, I nailed you two down. You've been dodging me for 2 years trying to make this happen. I had to beg you.
No, I haven't been constantly messaging you or anything on various platforms trying to get a hold of you. That never happened.
Can I confess my deepest, darkest fear?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's that everything I know, think, and feel, I've said out loud and been documented saying somewhere, and I have no new information to share. So my task is for both of you to unearth never before told anecdotes, stories from the dark recesses of my mind. But I feel like so much of it has been documented. And
That's fair.
Obviously, I know we haven't even introduced ourselves yet, but obviously when you play other people for a living, I do think it behooves you to retain some mystery.
That's fair. Sure.
Yeah.
So where are the bodies?
Yeah, well,
He is a nice guy.
where are the comedic bodies? That's for you to uncover. It's a crime podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Now that's all makes sense. Now you're just talking about that home in Texas, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nashville.
Exactly.
Nashville. Was it Nashville?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Nashville.
Yeah.
But I mean, moving out to, you're out here in Truro.
Yeah.
Right? Lots of place to hide bodies. Right?
True story.
Yeah, that's it. So,
Figurative ones.
So
Yes.
so it's now a nice time to plug this restaurant. So
Yes, we'll do that.
We're in Truro, Nova Scotia. The beautiful Parrot Asia Thai food. I think we're going to experience their food a little bit later on today.
Yeah.
This looks great.
My favorite type of conversation is a parachat.
Parrot chat.
There you go.
Yeah.
Parrot
That's a
chat.
great parrot
So
chat, yeah.
we totally missed up our intros. Let's try it again. We'll keep this in, but we'll try it again just to get it for fun. Okay.
All right. For fun.
Cheers.
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 Welcome to the Afternoon Pint. I'm Mike Tobin.
I am Matt Conrad.
And who do we have with us today?
I'm Jonathan Ormond Torrens. Pat
nailed it.
Susan's boy from Sherwood.
There you go. That's never been said before.
No.
Hasn't it? I feel like Brent Butt has a bit where he refers to himself as, it's not even a bit, as his parents' child. I always thought that was kind of endearing. Small towny.
That's, he's great too.
Too bad nothing ever happened for him career-wise.
Yeah, too bad, hey?
By the way, one of the most unexpected surprises for me in the last couple of years, as far as hashtag pivots, Brent Butt's book, Huge,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
was an incredible crime novel. And it was set in the world of stand-up comedy, but very little funny about it. It was gruesome and
You come out this year?
grimy. I feel like it was 2 years ago now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I mean, I try as much as possible to support Canadian TV. Corner Gas, one of my favorite shows. Mr. D, one of my favorite shows. Things like Kim's Convenience, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, I try as much as possible to really support Canadian content, like television. And honestly, it's legitimately funny. People shit on it, but it's not. It's funny.
It is.
100%.
It is also like such a weird challenge at this particular moment in our history where you're trying to be all things to all people. We have fewer networks here.
Yep.
At this moment in our history where specificity is actually cool. The more specific your podcast is, the cooler that is.
Yeah.
There are 400 channels and channels for everybody.
Right.
So to find a show that appeals to everybody when the viewing is so fractured more so than ever before is increasingly impossible, especially in this moment when networks are so risk averse because they can't just roll the dice on something to see if it works. It almost has to pretty much be a guarantee.
Right.
And the easiest way to do that is to use road tested, tried and true talent.
Right.
So you get less like Trailer Park Boys, Hail Marys out of nowhere.
Right.
Letterkenny is another great example. And that's often when the coolest stuff happens, which is, didn't see that coming.
Right.
Do you think that Letterkenny, though, was able to happen because of the Trailer Park Boys?
I feel like in a
Because I know
sense,
they're
sure.
different, but they're not that different too, right?
I would say Trailer Park Boys was probably a case study,
Yeah.
like a comp
Yeah.
that they could use in the selling of Letterkenny. I think really what sold Letterkenny was two things. One, Jared Kiso's tenaciousness, because it wasn't the first sort of web series he put out there. He had tried a few. This one really stuck. And I think the second thing is it helps when you go to Bell and say, we have this idea for a show. Also, here's the 21 million views we have on YouTube of our 2-minute bit.
Yeah, we've already demoed it. It's doing great.
Yeah.
So, that makes him more.
So
More
that's
interested, yeah.
that's what I always say to the children, like, make your thing. The anyone can make something, which is terrible and awesome for a whole bunch of reasons. But generally speaking, and I learned this with Trailer Park, if it's good, it'll rise above the din. No one knew what Showcase was, and people found it. It stopped people in their tracks.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened with Letterkenny Online. It was like, I don't even understand what this is, but I can't stop watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Showcase was the channel for me for a long part of life.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Kenny versus Spenny, that was a Canadian show too, right?
Yeah,
sure
it was
it
a great
was.
Canadian show.
It's a great one.
I was thinking about those guys this morning. I feel like, and I've said this before, the Canadian shows that have traveled the most, ironically, are the most distinctly Canadian ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trailer Park Boys, Letterkenny. Kenny versus Spenny was so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Tom Green
Oh my God. Yes.
was so ahead of his time.
Yeah.
He was a story producer on Street Sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was he?
That's where I first met him. He was the Ottawa-based story producer for Street Sense. And I remember my mom lived in Ottawa at the time, and I remember going to shoot a story there. And he was like, do you know what would be funny is your mom throwing tomato slices at you and you're wearing a garbage bag. And I can't remember what the story was about, like spearmint gum or something. Like, it had nothing to do with tomatoes, but it was like early Tom Green. And then his show on cable, obviously, and then his show on Comedy Network, and then cover Rolling Stone. Like, he just
And then when he left that world, he almost started the podcast medium. A lot of people have said that, like Mark Maron, Joe Rogan. A lot of the really popular podcasters have all credited Tom Green with starting the podcast.
Well,
movement,
his show was so rough.
Yeah.
Like, his talk show was so rough. It was very much like
But then
podcast.
when his show was done, he started in his LA basement, his own talk show. And I watched a bit, like he had Norm Macdonald on some of my favorite
thinking,
comics.
why would you ever want to line your house with cameras?
Yeah.
That was how long before Big Brother? Like,
It was bonkers, but brilliant.
I think his history will show just how ahead of the curve he was. I remember the one thing I don't think they let him air. He had a piece of feces in a Barbie bed with googly eyes on it
Dear God.
on his desk.
Gross.
You might have, I don't know if you would have seen the sketch with his grandmother. They were baking something together, and he gave her a vibrator to use to make the whipped cream and got her to taste the whipped cream. And I remember asking him, was like, have you ever done anything you regret? And he's like, that's a one I wish I could have back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It must have been chaotic to be in a like a work environment, like a writer's room or whatever with him.
Yeah.
He I mean, haven't seen him in years, but I always remember, like, he came on Jonavision. It was, I don't know if you remember the night that he took a raccoon in a suitcase on the Mike Bullard show.
Yeah.
He'd been carrying it around for like several weeks, and it was maggoty, and it was the only time Mike ever stopped the show, and Mike got sick in the alley.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Mike, man. It was great.
Yeah. I as a performer, I always think the pressure to every time ratchet it up a little higher must be, that would turn my stomach in knots. That's the thing about operating on that plane.
Yeah.
Is if the thing that you do is less crazy than a maggoty raccoon, like, how do you out maggoty raccoon yourself every time?
I mean, that reminds you.
Is that the question you ask yourself?
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this morning, because when asked, what do you do for a living, I don't really know how to answer. And the funny thing about this moment is people will say, what are you up to, man?
Yeah.
Are you still at everything?
Right.
I've never been busier or more fulfilled or happier or had more work in my industry.
Well, you're doing a lot of behind the scenes now, though.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of directing, a lot of writing. We have this trailer company.
Yeah, the trailer company
on the side. But I guess my point is, I've never been busier, but because there are 400 channels, people kind of aren't necessarily as aware as they were when there were 3 channels and I was on every day at 5 o'clock.
Right.
So I know we don't want to go over things that have already been said in media 1,000 times over, but I got to do kind of just for our audience here today. Go back to, so Street Sense, if you're listening and you don't know what Street Sense was, it was basically almost like a news magazine for teens or young adults
for TV.
Yeah, for TV on CBC for almost a decade, wasn't it?
More, 15
years? Yeah. So it was a really cool show. You were a teenager when you started that show.
Yeah.
How did you go from being a kid growing up in PEI to a teenager, on this show? How did that happen? It was a whole new thing. It was a brand new
Total
thing.
fluke. Right place in the right time. I think people that had known me my whole life wouldn't be surprised necessarily that I ended up doing something sort of in the creative arts. I was going to St. Pat's High School in Halifax, did the musical there. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. John Nowlin, who was the producer of this new show called Street Sense, came to see the musical. I had a big flashy role. He called the school the next day and said, would that guy want to audition for this new show?
No way.
Wow.
Like,
I guess that worked
imagine,
out
like,
too,
called
You were in
the school.
PEI at the time?
No,
or-
it was St. Pat's High.
St. Pat's
In
High. So you're in
Halifax,
Halifax.
Oakville Road.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, because he moved
Crazy.
when you were at junior high. You moved over. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You came to Halifax when you were junior high, right?
Okay, Wikipedia. You did your research before getting
We
here.
did
I
a little
like
bit
it.
of research, yeah.
So, but also like I guess like where CBC was almost like, you know, just down the street at
Yeah.
the time, it would have been easy for them to just go around scouting if they were looking for something like this.
Well, and I
right?
think they did. They auditioned a bunch of people. I actually didn't get the job originally. Ended up kind of being a correspondent or doing a couple of field pieces, and then was hired pretty early on in season 1.
Yeah.
But that was the crazy thing. Like, leave high school, go shoot a national TV show, drop by high school again.
Right.
But Street Sense, in retrospect, even at the time, it was very, very cool for me because got a whole bunch of surrogate parents there. Discovered quite quickly this is what I love to do with my time. I was really curious. It was asking questions for a living, which I still
Was there any
love.
regrets that you didn't get to do the regular teenage life in a sense, or were you just kind of happy to be doing something that you loved?
It wasn't Saved by the Bell.
Right.
Like, it was a consumer affairs show on the public broadcaster on Saturday morning.
Right.
So rest assured, it was very easy to maintain a low profile.
I was going to ask that though, because I watched and remember Street Sense. I mean, I remember Jonavision as well. I used to watch that all the time too.
It came on, then The Simpsons would come on right after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Best thing that ever happened to us.
Oh yeah.
But that being said, like, did you go completely under the radar in high school, or people must have recognized you, or did anyone give you any flack about it or anything like that?
I mean,
people
you
would be
guys
weird.
know high school, the coolest people are the ones that drive themselves there and can get into the liquor store.
Yeah, that's
So it's not like CBC boy was the coolest handle.
fair. Okay.
I remember there was a guy, Andy, who had a liquor ID. That was cool status. I remember another guy had his own apartment, people that were kind of doing grade 12 for the third time. They were kind of at the top. I don't think it was unique to St. Pat's. I think that was just that's a high school thing. So in the pecking order, host of a consumer affairs show wasn't at the top. I think people will now say, yeah, it was pretty cool,
Yeah.
But I was so absorbed in soaking up every bit of the experience I could, because you get picked up for 6 episodes, then it goes away. I worked at Christopher's Beach Club in Cavendish in the summer, hosted karaoke at the bar across the street, and then would go back. We got picked up again, do another season that would take me till Christmas. So it was never like you have a 10-year gig on Street Sense.
Right.
So it was always just waiting to hear, do a bit of work, wait to hear again.
That's very, do you find that's very typical of the industry in general, or just Canadian industry of like the film industry?
I would say that's very typical of the industry in general. It's very, very rare you would get a pickup for 2 seasons. I mean, it happens with some marquee shows like Law and Order Toronto, for example, got a 2-season pickup.
Yeah.
That's when people are buying Range Rovers.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
That's when everyone's like, okay, I'm going to buy a set of flats in Winnipeg. Let's get rocking. But that's it's fleeting.
Yeah.
It's fleeting. It's very unlikely that a show goes. Mr. D was incredible. I think it was 8 seasons, and that's unheard of.
Amazing show. It was a perfect cast. I mean, you and Jerry D, of course, Maestro Fresh West.
Yeah.
So many just people appeared in
Emma
that show.
Hunter,
Yeah.
super funny. Bette McDonald,
I was going to
obviously.
say, I met Bette in a bar one time, and she was hilarious. Like, she had a few into her, I had a few into me, and and I was like, I know you from Mr. D. I love the show. She was like leaned right into it hard.
Yeah.
She was fantastic.
She's a doll, and she is the best kind of East Coast comedian because she's humble and sneaky and doesn't need to be the center of attention or wouldn't be the loudest person in the bar.
Yep.
But easily the funniest person anywhere.
Yeah.
Were there any years that you had outside? And I mean, I tried to see if I could find this. I couldn't find an answer for it. But were there years that you had outside of like the entertainment industry entirely? Did you kind of take a sabbatical and do some carpentry, anything like that? Or did you
No.
just kind of stick with it the whole way through?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, that was it,
Well, I kept waiting for the arse to drop out of her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been 30 some years. So
Wicked.
it's funny when people say, like, why did you choose to do this? Or then you made the choice to do that. Nothing's ever been a choice. It's all been hard work and hope and saying yes to most things that come my way. It's been a real luxury in recent years to be pretty selective about the things I say yes to. I've been doing this kind of word of the year thing. Last year was Simplify, and this year it's no. And
like KNOW?
yeah, no, it's not that one.
2-letter one. Okay.
N-O.
Yeah, okay.
And I realized that I'm just trying to give my time the same scrutiny I give money.
Right.
Because at my age, you spend your time, it goes by really fast.
Yeah.
That's fair, yeah. Well,
So-
we appreciate your time today because then we know you're busy.
Well, this
so
was
we
fun.
appreciate- Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. It went by so fast.
Slow down, Matt. Slow
That was
down.
the fast.
We're
No,
not
but I mean,
there.
like,
we got lots to do.
I think that was a
Wrap
good.
her up.
I think that was a good moment
Oh,
just
yeah.
to say thanks because I agree. Time is something you're never going to get
Absolutely.
back. Right?
It's true.
It's absolute finite. Where money you can always make more.
Yeah.
So it's true.
Well, my eldest daughter is going into grade 11.
Crazy.
So we have one more summer.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go to do an episode of Heartland as a legal aid lawyer and be gone for 15 days in the summer.
Right.
And it's not about money, or there's no real credit that I'm like, oh man, that would be worth it. The thing that I'm interested in at this stage in my career is creating new things. So new experiences, new characters, new memories, going to new places. I don't want to retread or revisit things I've done in the past or go back to playing certain characters. I'm like, what else is there?
Right.
So I've been lucky enough to either get to create new characters or be offered new experiences that are exciting. But if it doesn't ring my bell, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. And then I got to ask about this trailer business. So this is kind of crazy. So this is a little bit of a detour for you. So how did you get into the business of having movie trailers and getting movie trailers in? This episode is brought to you by Camilla Najat with Exit Realty Metro.
Camilla Najat is an experienced real estate agent who prides herself in finding the perfect home for her clients. Camilla can help you with a comparative market analysis to help determine the value of your home if you're planning on selling, or help you determine the going rate for the neighborhood you're moving into. She can also work with you at your pace.
You can reach Camilla by calling 902-880-8429 or email camilla@exitmetro.ca.
Also, you can find her on Facebook at Camilla Najat, Exit Realty Metro.
My friend, when we were doing Mr. D, provided all the trailers for the show. He wanted out of the business. And it was at a moment where we are very geographically disadvantaged here.
Right.
If a production's going to come from LA and they want to go to Canada, Vancouver's easy, easiest. Toronto's easier. Halifax is harder. Newfoundland's really hard. So you need a couple of things. One is an infrastructure, and two is a really good tax credit. So part of the infrastructure is having things like trailers, sound stage, which we're working on here now.
Excited about that.
So I didn't want to see these pieces sold off across the country. And I thought, my corner of the universe is so up and down and so unpredictable. It wouldn't hurt to have something that doesn't rely on my gorgiosity exclusively. So
great word.
It's
New word for the show.
Might be a new word. Tim Houston didn't drop that word.
No, he didn't. No,
About
he didn't say that
himself?
one. Yeah. Gorgiosity.
As mentioned, I can tease because we were both Fairview Junior High alum.
There you go.
So you went to junior high, with Tim Houston?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I prefer to say he went to junior high with me.
There you go. Were
That's
you
fair.
older or younger than him? Do you remember?
I was trying to remember this. I feel like I might have been a grade ahead of him.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, he is the same exact person. Looks the same, talks the same. I think he's a smart cat.
Yeah.
Articulate, well-spoken. I think he's it's a tough job for anybody.
It's a tough year for
tough year,
Nova Scotia,
tough
my gosh.
job. Yeah, lots of stuff going on.
No.
I appreciate his heart when things like wildfires happen or atrocities. I believe him.
Yeah.
But man, as you know, the discourse in the world right now, you say good morning and someone's like, what about the people that are having a bad morning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a job like a referee, where on your first day in the job, 50% of the people hate you.
Yes.
That's a tough row to hoe, man.
It's
100%.
it's a tough road. I mean, and sometimes it's just simply because of the party he aligns with. Right? They don't stop and listen to what he's saying and go, "Oh, you know what? Actually, I probably would agree with this guy if I just took the other colors out of my ears a little bit."
So I was a largely not really a political person before 2015.
Yeah.
So I bought this trailer company.
Okay. Yeah.
My wife Carol is an accountant by trade and much smarter than me. She thought it seemed like relatively low risk. Although the film industry can be volatile, as we found out shortly after, when the then Liberal government cut our tax credit.
Right.
So suddenly we had the infrastructure, but no incentive to
Game
come
changer.
here.
Yeah.
And it was really a lesson in the sort of narrative they spun was we can't afford to spend money on the Hollywood film industry when there are more important things like education and healthcare. And when the average person hears that, on paper, that makes total sense.
It's just to people, yeah.
The way they were conveying the tax credit spend made it sound like a handout and a giveaway versus building an industry that then those tax dollars that people are making for a living go to fund education and healthcare.
Yeah, and we had Aaron Hennessy on the show, and we talked a lot about, we explored the spin-offs that happen. Like when a film show or movie happens in a town like Windsor, money gets spent there.
Businesses open.
Businesses open up,
yeah,
things like that.
big
Like
time.
Windsor's huge now. Like Windsor's growing in Windsor, Nova Scotia, because I mean a brewery went in and now everything else is great businesses in Windsor right now.
Dude, we did a show called Pretty Blind here in Truro. We shot for a month. We spent $128,000 at the Inn on Prince Hotel.
Beautiful.
There you go. Wow.
Everyone got per diem that they spent every day at restaurants in town, gas, lumber, costumes, people going out for drinks, people getting their laundry done. Like it's all the ancillary benefits of our industry, not to mention the way it worked was big Hollywood productions are courted to come here that train our people who can then make movies about our own stories with these new skills and knowledge after Hollywood pulls out of town. Yeah. So the story that was spun was we're sort of handing out money by the bag to people from Hollywood. And if I heard that, I would be incensed as well.
Yeah. But as a business owner who just invested in a bunch of trailers from Jerry D, now you're seeing the other side of it, and it's kind of just destroyed something that you thought was going to be have a high success rate.
Yes. So I guess the reason I say that is because, to bring it back to Tim Houston for a moment, he has championed our business in a big, meaningful, did what he said he would, hasn't wavered on it once, hasn't gone back on it way. And then people are like, what about the unhoused? Right. And the truth is, those are equally important, very different conversations. Yeah. And I think where it gets especially complicated, and I'm sure as he would know better than any of us, when you do one thing and people are like, but what about this? They don't necessarily intersect.
It's every post I see politically, it's like they do something and then underneath it, it's just complaints about something else. It's almost never.
Well, if we don't employ the film industry, they will be unhoused.
So here's a prime example. This is unearthed. We're unearthing something brand new.
Okay, love it. Let's go.
Breaking news. Friday afternoon, driving with my wife and 2 daughters. We are going to, and this sort of speaks to social media keyboard cowboyism. Why don't you type that to my face, which I think might be the name of my next book.
That's awesome.
Type that to my face. Go back to Trailer Park Boys, J-Rock. Like what? I wished my wife a happy birthday. Why are you shouting at me? Anyway.
Really? Wow.
Well, that's what people say. Like, it doesn't matter what I say. People will say something like that. So we're driving to Dartmouth for my daughters to go to dance camp. We get off the ramp in Truro to go to Starbucks to get a drink for the drive. Waiting to get into the roundabout, hear the screech of tires, get rear-ended at high speed by a half-ton Chevrolet Silverado.
Oof. Okay.
Propels us into the Honda Civic in front of us. So it's Sandwich City, pretty scary for my children.
Yeah.
Long story, slightly longer. The driver, she was inebriated and arrested at the scene. And also the license plate had expired in 2017. And also it was not the license plate that belonged to the vehicle when it was stolen 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a post on the Facebook that says like, hey, Colchester Fire responded to this, EHS people, thanks to the first responders. It becomes a conversation about, problem is people don't know how to use roundabouts.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
It's not what happened here.
No.
Yeah.
And someone else is like, were the people over 70 involved? Probably. Like, so now it's a conversation about ageism.
Right.
Racism pops in.
Yep.
I often have that.
For sure.
People say-
Racism pops
Big
in.
time.
I got someone hit me and took my mirror off, and first question someone asked me was, "What color were they?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "They were a white guy about 10 years older than me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Ageism on the other end. I bet it was a teenager.
Yeah.
People don't know how to merge. That's why I moved out of the city,
Yeah.
to which someone responded, this didn't happen in the city. And that became a side bicker. All this to say, I learned this from my wife. You don't have to say anything.
Thank God
No,
you
that's-
said
You
that.
don't have to comment on anything.
Yeah.
You're going by this, like, first responders did this thing happened. If you feel compelled to say something, all you have to say is, thank you, first responders.
Yeah.
Glad no one was hurt.
exactly.
Hope they're okay.
Honestly.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that now that bit that you did for Alberta for the intoxication thing probably means a lot more.
Whoa, Matt, bringing out the big guns. There you go. Good one.
That was
Good call,
crazy.
though.
Yeah, he did 30-minute bit for intoxicated drivers for Alberta.
So this was a crazy thing. It was 2000 and something. And there was a teenage guy who on his 18th birthday, which is the drinking age in Alberta, went to his friend's place in the afternoon, had, I think, 2 beer, maybe 3, was driving home into the sunset to drop his car, get changed, and go to the bar. He hit a family in a crosswalk because he couldn't see because of the sun.
Yeah.
And Mad wanted to make the argument that being impaired was just as bad as being drunk, and people shouldn't drive at all when they've had anything to drink. So they sort of made him the poster boy for even a couple. Terrible idea, you shouldn't drive.
Right.
So this straight A student, great home, bright future, makes a terrible choice. There's a terrible outcome. Shortly thereafter, he goes to an Oilers game. They randomly put him on the Jumbotron. Everyone boos because his face was in the
everywhere.
paper. He drinks at the game. He gets pulled over again.
Oh.
So I forget if there were 2 or 3 incidents in the space of a couple months. Anyway, he was in Grand Cache high security penitentiary as an 18-year-old boy. And he was in solitary confinement 23 hours a day because the time in the general population was so rough for him because he was the one thing you don't want to be in jail, which is famous.
Yes.
Anyway, we flew in a 4-passenger Piper Saratoga to Grand Cache, Alberta to interview this kid for this video.
Wow.
And it was, I've never smelled fear before. This kid was just a trembling leaf. Crazy.
Sad.
Yeah.
See, you're unearthing, guys. Nice work.
Nice
There you
unearthing,
go.
Matthew. Yeah, good
Nice
job.
work.
Did lots of reading over the weekend.
Yeah.
See, I've been consoling Chat GTP too much this weekend. That's my problem.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
trying to restructure the show. I don't know. You ever watch South Park? Yeah, a fan? Ish. Okay. Well, their new season, a show just came out. Just only telling you this because it's funny because I think everybody's looking a bit at Chat GTP these days. So as I was looking at advice for like our own program, what can we do to punch things up, change things up, and make things different and better? It's they have the main character now, the old guy that's on the farm,
Randy or
Randy or whatever. He owns a
Stan's
cannabis
father,
farm.
yeah.
He's using Chat GTP and he's putting all this stupid ideas into the phone. And every idea he puts in, the Chat GTP girlfriend tells him he's absolutely brilliant, and then he executes and then he fails.
That's so dangerous. Hearing you're brilliant all the time.
Ooh. Yeah, because that's something that's happening with this type of technology now. Is it tells you great
Question
ideas
for
quite
you.
often? Yes.
Are there complaints about the structure of your show? Is
No,
there
not
any
really.
reason in particular you want to change it up?
Not in particular.
That's
sometimes
a deep question
people
about
say,
his psyche.
"How much time do you got, John?"
Well, I asked this because I saw an article this morning that had something to do with the fact that like McDonald's is rebranding and all these fast food restaurants are rebranding.
Cracker Barrel there, yeah.
Cracker Barrel, Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And it said they're trying to change the lipstick on the pig, but the problem is the pig isn't working anymore.
Oh.
The problem is the pig, not the shade of the lipstick.
So you're calling us pigs?
Not suggesting that's what's happening here.
Well, man, I tell you,
I was wondering, are you addressing a problem or creating one?
I'm just trying to keep the engagement high on the show and keep things kind of popping and interesting, making sure people listen to the whole show. Yeah. So I'm just kind of spitballing and I look at the analytics, and I've had a few comments that Pat and I talk too much.
Really?
On our own show. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Well, how can we make that more palatable and make sure that we're not over talking?
I'm guessing this episode won't fall victim to that.
I don't know.
I chat a fair bit.
That's
yeah,
good.
it might. Who knows?
Who knows?
We're only halfway through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what? It's the ADHD is strong within us.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we both have it. Yeah. So we're ADHD squared. Is maybe what we should call the show, right?
It's
The
one
pair
of the things
us.
I like about this medium, though, because in a hashtag emoji universe, it's one of the last places for long form conversation.
Yes.
And wait, what do you mean by that? Or can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah. I think that's a big part of what why Team Houston like to come on the show, because everyone's waiting for him to say something wrong, and you have to keep answers short and quick because you only have so much time. And he could actually sit down and get really nuanced in some of his answers. Yep. And that's what I think he liked about it. He knew we were out to get him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was just about just tell us what you think about these things.
Right. I remember seeing Obama at the Metro Center.
Oh,
Either of you go?
No.
I didn't get a chance to go. I would have liked to have gone.
He was saying the thing about a job like being president of the United States is by the time a problem gets to you, if you have the right team, a lot of real smart people have taken a whack at it. So the things that make it to your desk are the 49-51 things.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And there are arguments for both, and you just kind of use the best information you have to make the best decision you can in the moment, and don't sweat it.
Yeah.
The challenge, and I think about this a lot, is once new information becomes available, the tendency is to beat yourself up for making the wrong decision.
Absolutely.
When in fact, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Steve,
that's deep, and
I'm lost
good.
now. Where were we?
I don't know, but I there was something that's been stuck in my brain because he mentioned something and I want to go back to it. Is I wanted to ask, because now you're very much I feel, you may feel differently, but I feel now just you're really much in the driver's seat for a lot of the things, because you're saying no to things and all that. You're in the driver's seat of what you want to do, the things you want to create, the new characters that you want to develop. Is there, and you mentioned talking about local stories and trying to make sure that we people here get to tell our story. Is there a story that you, and you may not even want to tell us this because it might be in your, reserve for something, but is there a story that you would really want to tell and a character that you may want to really develop that you have kind of just, I really want to nail that?
I haven't been number one on the call sheet in a sitcom. I like being the supporting character. Yep. I like being the, oh man, when's that character coming back on? Just philosophically, there's less heavy lifting. Typically, the main character is sort of the most normal one, and they're the audience's portal into this crazy universe.
Right.
Jerry's normal.
Yes.
They can't all be Kramer, or that would grow tiresome.
Right.
So I have a half-baked notion that I'm developing. I was looking at Son of a Critch, for example, and I imagine how fun that is for Mark to do something that is of his place, about his people, honoring his dad.
Yeah.
So not to say I'm doing The Wonder Years meet Son of a Critch, but
that would be cool.
I have this notion that is sort of born out of my childhood and my heritage that is giving me oxygen.
Okay, cool.
I think it's a sort of a setting that we haven't seen much, but more so, I think, a story that is, again, hard to make something that people that of all different walks of life, of all different ages and backgrounds would tap into. So you have to find it something that's both has universal themes, but is also specific enough, like Yellowstone. Yeah. Taylor lived that life. You can tell by watching that show. I couldn't write that show.
Right. Gotcha.
So I think the missing ingredient in the difference between a good show and a great show is I am writing this because I know this world.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you try to find.
That can make a huge difference. I actually just saw an interview with Elle Jones just a couple of days ago, and she talked about because they had Washington Black that was filmed here, and they were talking to her specifically about her thoughts behind it and opinions and things like. And she had some really good things to say about it, but then also the same thing about some of the inaccuracies and some of the inconsistencies. Like she was saying how they didn't hire, like the leads weren't from here, so they didn't have here accents, right? They had accents from America, and they missed some of the stories, and they missed some of the details that someone who's lived it, knows it, wouldn't get.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. Last few of the shows that I've made have involved people from communities we haven't seen much on TV. Not to suggest we haven't seen many Black people on TV, but Black Nova Scotians, for example.
100%. And I thought it was great you did that show.
Yeah,
60 Driving Academy show.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Learned a lot.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned is that Black women have a specific type of hair that only Black women should be working on.
Right.
And when you say it out loud, it sounds so obvious, but to see the comfort level go up when the Black performers were greeted by a Black hairstylist.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, good. Yes, someone who speaks my language. And as obvious as it sounds, having Black crew members on a show made by and for a Black audience is a really critical piece of the equation as well. The challenges was something the scale of Washington Black, which was an global opus. Just finding a big enough, seasoned enough, experienced enough crew to execute something like that. In a place like here, and I run into this all the time, trying to make sure there are lots of diverse casting options. The truth is, the acting pool isn't super deep here. The experienced acting pool is even more shallow. The diverse acting pool is even more shallow. So we're doing what we can. It's getting better, I think. But
we've explored this a little bit with Aaron too. Like, I think some of the big part of it is that if you don't have consistent work here, then it's hard to be a full-time actor. And if it's hard to be a full-time actor, it's hard for people to keep acting because they have to get a job.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So there's some things I'd like to do. I don't want to be an actor necessarily, but there's some things I'd like to explore. But it's also like I have to take a day off from my day job to maybe go out and do this thing.
Well, I think another thing we encounter is not to overstate it, but I think we're still feeling some of the ripples of the taxident of 2015 because some people left and never came back.
That's right, yes.
But also a show like Sullivan's Crossing comes along. It's the first season. People cast strategically. And then if you used someone as convenience store employee in season 1, never expecting it would go 4 seasons, then suddenly you've burned that character or person and you can't bring them back. So in a place with a relatively small acting community, that's one of the challenges.
That's the thing. And I mean, I understand like the whole unionized thing. So like you're working Monday to Friday in most cases, except for some exceptions.
No weekends.
No weekends. Weekends, I think, would probably open some things up because I'm sure I'd come up for a Saturday kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I think you get a lot more people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Saturday, Sunday.
If it was a Saturday, Sunday thing, like I'd come out and do something. If someone was like, hey, we're doing a casting call for background people or whatever it was, right? Me too. Yeah. I'd go out. No problem.
It'd be a fun way to spend a Saturday, right? Like, what the heck?
Why not? Yeah.
Well, now that you guys have said it, we're shooting 0 to 60 season 2 in November. Come out and be background.
There you go. I'd love to.
100%.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. And how's Pretty Blind going? What a great title.
It's great. So Pretty Blind is our half-hour sitcom, starring a woman with low vision and albinism. Her name's Jenny Bovard, and she lives in Halifax, and she's a marathon runner, craft beer enthusiast.
Oh, wow.
Cheers to that.
Can you invite her on the show? Tell her she should come on. We'd love to talk to her.
Honestly, you should have her on.
100%.
Just forgive me, seeing the world through her eyes. All these things that well-intended but misguided people do. And this seems to be a recurring theme in the disability community. Most people have the best of intentions. Brian George, a wheelchair user that I've worked with, he'll be making his way up the hill by the ale house.
Yes.
And someone will come up behind him and grab his chair and like, oh, here you go, bud. Start running him up the hill. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
The chair is sort of an extension of my body, and you should ask for permission to touch me.
100%.
Yeah.
Another frustration I know he encountered is in a hilly city like Halifax, you get to the top of the hill and there's a sign that says sidewalk closed, please use other side. So you can either wheel back down or try to bunny hop across the middle of the road on a hill.
Brutal, yeah.
Just common sense stuff that that the Brians and Jennies of the world are very patient in helping those of us that don't move through the world that way kind of understand.
It's something interesting to me about that program in particular was on AMI.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, maybe some folks here listening don't know what AMI is. Do you want to kind of give them an idea of what that is?
Yeah, it's called Accessible Media Inc. And most of the programming is either certainly made for people living with disabilities. I mean, that is also a very broad swath of humanity, includes mental health challenges and physical ones as well. They wanted to get into scripted comedy. And I think Jenny was the perfect way to onboard into that realm because she doesn't take herself too seriously. She has a wonderful sense of humor. My friend Mark Forward agreed to come be the showrunner. And he decided very early on that we don't want the sighted people to all be the punchlines. It's not like, oh, you idiot visual people just being dumb all the time, because that could grow old.
Yeah, right. And that's true.
Jenny really wanted people to know that life for her is like life for most of us. She has a bad boss and just got out of a relationship, and like it's kind of the same as different as it is. And that's something that we should also think about. Being visually impaired is not how she self-identifies. There are so many other ways that she identifies.
It's interesting you say that, because we had a past guest here and I've been kind of talking through he has some ideas about what he wants to kind of move forward with. And he's been doing some speaking gigs since he's been on our podcast, mostly regarding the fact that he's a part of the LGBTQ plus. And that's not how he wants to really be identified. And not that he's not a part of it, he is, but that's not what he wants his like shtick to be. He wants to be a guy who's talking about starting over. And he wants to use his story to talk to maybe even immigrants, people who are moving here, right? It's who knows better than starting over than someone who's left their home and moved here. And he's like, I'd rather talk about that. Even though he was, he was a gay man who got divorced and had to sell their home, and like after 25 years of a relationship, had to start all over again. He put everything in 5 bins, and that's what he based his like whole speech on. And everyone keeps booking him for LGBTQ stuff, and he's like, "But I want to talk about starting over, right?" So it was like that was a thing to me that kind of helped click in my brain. That I was kind of like, yeah, like why can't he? Why does he have to be that guy? Right.
I worked in the writer's room on an early iteration of the show that's now North of North, which I don't know if you've seen it. It was shot in Baffin Island.
Cool show. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
And Norm Hiscock, who worked on The Office and Parks and Rec, was the showrunner on that show. And Stacey and Lethea from Iqaluit were the creators of the show, and they're hilarious and razor sharp. And it was an interesting discussion because I've been lucky enough to travel through the North a whole bunch, and it's incredible. It's the best and worst of the South, and it's its own entirely unique thing. There are people there that are on the run from things. There are people there that would never see themselves leaving. It's the coolest. And the more remote you go, the more special and unique it is. So I thought, what a cool opportunity to show 24-hour daylight and how the school doesn't have windows because in the winter it's 24-hour darkness and kids will get sleepy at sitting at their desks. Like all this like crazy, never thought of that. That's so cool. They were like, yeah, but we also want to show that we watch The Office.
Right.
Yes.
So I was like, that's so
we're
cool.
all
It's so
consuming
different.
the same media.
Yeah,
and
she's
we're all,
like, but also we're the exact same.
Yes.
One of the things that is unique about Iqaluit, for example, is you get a certain amount of internet per month, and if you run out on the 25th, then everyone starts staying at work later as the last days of the month evaporate because you want to be able to have more internet and stream shows at work.
Right.
Like that's such a cool little unique thing. But
Yeah.
I guess I was like, let's show how different it is. And they were like, let's show how the same it is. And I think both things are right. And I feel like the
think you
show
can do
does
both.
that.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Strategy Up. Strategy Up is a business consulting firm led by Mark Zerka, who has over 20 years' experience in building commercial strategies that will up your game, organize your teams, increase your productivity, and grow your business.
Whether you're a construction company looking to grow your revenue or a busy restaurant owner just trying to keep the doors open, Strategy Up can help. Strategy Up's boutique-style consultations will help you improve business process across nearly any industry.
Being a successful entrepreneur does not mean you have to be an expert in everything. Strategy Up specializes in building a relationship with you. Once pain points in the business are realized, Strategy Up will introduce process and technology that will power up your game to the next level.
A successful business requires investment. Your next step towards growth starts now. Email info@mystrategyup.com for a free business discovery call. Up your game with Strategy Up.
Yeah. But I guess if the LGBTQ plus is the thing that gets him in the door, then he can make his message whatever he wants.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that's interesting. I kind of like that. We kind of really went down the whole telling of stories and stuff like that. I don't know if you want to change.
I just want to ask one of those really boring, everybody asks you 4 questions.
Libra.
Now. Ready? Let's go.
It's Libra season.
That's right.
Witches.
Yeah. Are you a Libra?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I was going to ask that, but that's great.
Who are your birthday buddies?
What?
Mine are Sting, Gandhi, and Kelly Ripa.
I have no idea.
Gene
You
Roddenberry.
don't?
Gene Roddenberry.
No, I don't know.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Or you were guessing his? Because
No, mine. That's mine. Gene Roddenberry.
You don't know?
No, and that's born in November, dude. And
November what?
20th.
Can we please look it up?
We
Does
don't
anyone
know.
have the
I have no
internet?
idea. It's probably somebody terrible now.
Does anyone have the internet? We can do it here.
Does anyone have the internet?
famous?
Ask your question while he looks it up. This is the host in me wanting to be
so actor
economical.
or director, like if you could just pick one to do, what do you enjoy more? What fulfills you more? Out of the
There are very few acting opportunities that come my way that give me oxygen.
yeah.
I really like directing because I like seeing the process through the eyes of people that haven't done it much. I like, I think words are kind of like music. Feel like I can hear when someone hits a clam and try to calibrate it and fix it. I like, my sort of approach to life is improv. So I like to, fix jokes and try different things and make it up as I go.
Yeah.
But there are I don't know. I genuinely think I'm not the best at anything, but I'm okay at many things. So I genuinely feel like I'm not a good enough actor to be on Sullivan's Crossing. And I know people might say, like, come on, dude. I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
I probably
I'm sure you could too. Yeah.
But I don't. I know I could think of that's. I'm actually pretty famous for doing that. When someone will call and say, "Are you interested in this?" I'd be like, who should do that is this guy. Do you know this person? There's this person. I like to help cast things.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I found 3 people.
Birthday buddies. Who are
Anyone
they?
that I like?
Birthday buddies.
Or do I know?
So first one I'm throwing out is Canadian. Sir Wilfrid Laurier.
There you go.
There you go, $5 bill, right?
You got it.
You got that, okay.
Number 2, Joe Biden.
There you go.
Joe Biden's a good guy. I like him.
And
Decent.
the third one is just a guy I think is funny and I like, and that's Joel McHale.
Okay.
I like him.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah.
See,
that's not so
I
bad.
auditioned for that show, The Soup.
I was afraid of.
Did you?
Yeah.
You would have been great for that.
Well, I auditioned a few times.
You should have been also on Community.
I guess that
would've
I'm
been
sort
great.
of McHalean in a
Maybe, yeah. There's a whole 6 seasons in a movie. Maybe you can be in the movie.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was in Los Angeles for 7 years.
Yeah.
After I turned 30, I did 5
Joe Schmo.
seasons of Jonavision, went down to LA, and Schmo was the first gig that I booked there. I was such a fan of the first season of that show. Kristen Wiig was on it. If you saw Jury Duty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Joe
was
Schmo
great.
was kind of the show before Jury Duty.
I know I watched both. I can't remember Joe Schmo. I can remember Jury Duty because I watched it.
Do you know who did Joe Schmo?
Who?
Reese Rett.
Oh, yeah.
Rhett Reese.
Deadpool. Or Rhett Reese from Deadpool.
Okay.
The guy who
And Paul Wernick.
co-created whenever.
Yeah.
Did Deadpool. Yeah.
And they did a Zombie Land.
Yes, Zombieland.
Zombieland's
Yes.
fantastic. Good movie.
And their arguably greatest achievement, which you can probably find in Giant Tiger DVD discount $2 bin, if they have such a thing, or on the dark web. So first season of Joe Schmo, show like this had never been done before. If you didn't see it, everybody's an actor except one guy who doesn't know that everybody's an actor.
Just like Jerry Judy, yeah.
Yeah, and the first season was sort of based on a Big Brother style reality show, and this sweetheart of a man, Matt Kennedy Gould, was put through the scripted comedy ringer unbeknownst to him, and handed a giant check and was like, what? Well, I'm sorry if I misled you guys in any way. Like, it was tuned in for this like tomfoolery, and it ended up being this glorious moment of humanity and kindness, and it was awesome. The second season, the one I was in, was more based on The Bachelor. And what no one could have anticipated is our mark actually fell for the actress playing the Bachelorette, which made for a really unfunny, kind of sad, kind of cringe-tastic finale.
And he played the maybe he was gay guy or something like that.
Geralt.
Yes.
And all Canadians were like, dude, that's Buddy from Street Sense. Like, how did they not recognize him?
Yeah.
Which speaks volumes.
There was a couple guys in that newer one, the Jury Duty, that I recognized right off the gate. I was like, how did
Yeah, Lisa Gilroy.
Yeah. And the guy that was in Parks and Rec all the time.
The guy with the mustache in Parks and Rec. Yeah.
Well, John Huertas from Joe Schmo 2, my roommate on the show and Bud in real life, played Miguel on This Is Us.
Oh,
wow.
If you watch that show.
Yeah. That was a great show.
So anyway, after 2 seasons of Schmo, the third show they did, instead of doing Joe Schmo 3, was called Invasion Iowa. You mentioned Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah.
Do you know this?
I don't know this.
So they took William Shatner and an entourage of actors playing his entourage to the town in Iowa that was purportedly the birthplace of James T. Kirk. And they punked the entire town into thinking they were there to make a movie, like a science fiction movie. So they enlisted the help of all the local farmers and people to be extras in the show, work on the crew, and they sold promotional items called shats. So everyone in the town's walking around with shats on.
Oh my God.
And no one ever saw it.
I never saw that show.
It's
so that
the
never came out?
unicorn of
That never came out on TV or what? No, what?
I feel like it did. So here's what I think happened. The first season of Schmo was on when like the Man Show, Spike TV, Machismo,
right.
Turbo Alpha Male stuff.
Yeah.
Then I think there was a new network head that came in midway through our season, and he just burned the last 5 episodes of our season in a marathon. Wow. So I don't know if Invasion Iowa was like they aired it on a Saturday afternoon, or it aired somewhere else, or it was straight to DVD, or I can't remember what happened.
I'm sure find that, man, if we wanted to find it.
If anyone had
that sounds like something I want to see, actually.
I legit tried to find his documentary about the Alberta alcohol thing.
Did you?
Legit tried to find it. I looked everywhere.
Do you know my?
Couldn't find it.
I was in a Crime Stoppers ad, not as bad as you. That was like my only acting debut. I smoked cigarettes, illegal cigarettes, and I got in trouble.
Were you the perp?
He was trying to sell them in the hotel or the apartment. I was watching TV, and I was just like, What the hell is Tobin doing on this commercial?
When was that?
Oh, it was like it was for 10 years ago.
Maybe more than that, probably.
More years. Yeah, but then it ended up being on TV every hockey game for like 4 years on freaking CBC.
Honestly, dude, it was probably like 15 years ago.
But you got lots of royalties for it, right?
No.
That's actually, people say, like, why doesn't CBC put Jonavision out? The challenge is because the show was a hybrid, which most of the things I've done in my career have been.
Yeah.
Because there were some sketches that were ACTRA and actors. They'd have to repay everybody to put those out.
Right. Oh, that's
which I'm
too
kind
bad.
of thankful for.
Yeah.
Because I think something's mythology probably grows a little bit in its absence.
Yeah,
That's
Because,
true.
I mean, has there ever been anything done? There might be this out now. Has there been a documentary that kind of went through what that show was to just kind of explain it? Because I think it's an interesting thing. Jonavision. Like, I think in itself,
it's funny you should say that.
it was interesting. It's like, we can't get teens in the news watching the news. What are we going to do? And then they made that show. Like I think that's kind of cool.
It's funny you should say that because obviously there's been a Mr. Dress Up one, there's a Sharon Losenbram one on the way, there's a Degrassi one at TIFF this year. So the idea sort of bubbled to the surface recently. My first instinct is, who would watch that? And even I've toyed with the idea of doing a podcast where I'm like going to track down the guests that were on episodes and say, this is this guy Trevor put 100 live crickets down his pants. Where is he now? Was it worth the $50?
I got to 1,000.
Are you glad you did it? Yeah. But I don't know. It'd be interesting for me and Cricket Guy. Does anyone else really care whatever happened to Cricket Guy?
I think you'd be surprised. Like,
I think you would be surprised.
If you made a documentary and sewed some of that into it while talking about the show and that kind of, it's just a weird time in history, right? You think of where we're at now. Everybody gets their information from TikTok, and there's no real, there's no executives right now. How can we get children watching more news?
Well,
or how can we get them more educated?
CBC took a whack at a Street Sense reboot on TikTok.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's hard to get the kids to watch the television.
Are they paying any attention to it? How's it doing?
I have no idea.
No? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was probably the right angle, like trying to get it on TikTok and stuff like that, but because not many young people are sitting down and watching TV, right? There's people are doing movies like as if we were watching it on your phone. Like, people are filming TV shows and movies as if they know that people are going to watch it on their phone.
Vertical.
Yeah, vertical, exactly.
It's crazy, and that's what the future is like. But the thing that I am excited about is I can show my girls Home Alone, Ferris Bueller, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Back to the Future, shows that very much look of a time, and the aesthetics are obviously very different. They don't care. If it's a good story, good characters, well told, they're in.
Yeah.
I love that. They're watching season 9 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And my wife on our walk this morning was like, do you know what though? It's group dynamics, it's drama, it's escapism, it's sort of figuring out how to navigate a complex group of people. I'll buy that. It's true.
100%. Bit of fun.
It's also funny.
Yeah.
So I'm buoyed by the fact that a good story is still something that can hook people in.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
You I think, how old are your daughters? You got one that's almost in high school?
15 and 13.
Sorry, almost in university.
I guess the reason I say that is because part of me felt like we have become a set of hands opening a Kinder Egg for 20 seconds society, and that's all the attention span we have.
Yeah, but do you think
it's encouraging to see they will sit and watch a whole movie?
Yeah, so your kids will still do that, eh? They'll still watch a whole movie. Like I do find like a lot of Gracie's friends, they're not interested in going to the movies and stuff.
How old?
Really?
13. Yeah, like same age, but they seem to have like a disinterest in long form entertainment.
Yeah,
like they would, or even TV shows, right?
Well, I know after the first chorus of most songs, kids are like, "All right, let's listen. What's next?"
Yeah.
Like,
most songs are 2 minutes and 6 seconds now.
That's crazy. Yeah, they cut them in half.
Probably for that reason.
Meanwhile, I'm like still wanting to listen to Inagata Vida.
Start to finish.
Cheers to Inagata Vida.
So
what is it? That's
1701.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get to our 10 questions, but you had something there, buddy.
Oh
so
no,
go
I
ahead.
was you were taking questions, but I wasn't sure if you want to because there was also
and then I have a caller I want to get to real quick.
Caller, okay, caller. Oh no,
it's Rhett Reese.
It's Rhett Reese. I know you want to talk about the Canadianity.
Oh, I just thought it was really cool. This book you did, Canadianity, you wrote with your kind of partner in crime, Jeremy Taggart, right?
Yeah.
And you and Jeremy have done 390 plus episodes or something of your own podcast.
Yes.
Right. So if you want to hear more, John, skip over there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
We don't put them out as much as we did. I loved the immediacy of getting audience feedback and response. When you make a show like Mr. D, might come out 6 months later, especially in this, like, used to work 6 months on a series, 13 episodes, would take 13 weeks from the air. Now it comes out Christmas Day. People have binge watched it by 11 in the morning. They're like, when's the next season come out?
Right. Yeah.
So it takes a long time to write something good and execute it and edit it. So I just like the immediacy. I too, early on, felt a real pull to have structure and lists and guests and games and in order. And then it's when the wheels came off the bus that our listeners were like, I love that moment when
really?
your mic cacked, when the dog barked, when the doorbell rang, the Amazon guy. And then, strangely, because I've worked in improv for a long time, Jeremy, a musician, was like, let's just jam, man. Let's just jam.
We had a musician on who had to go to use the bathroom twice in the middle of a podcast.
Oh, wow.
We just kept it in.
Kept it rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the idea of like, just let it ride, man, and we'll see. Because sometimes when you fly close to the sun, you get burned.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get a beautiful tan, and it could go either way. And I think sometimes when it doesn't work, it makes the moments that do work swing that much harder. So it's just kind of having the confidence to sit in it and let it sort of figure out what it is. So the podcast has afforded me the opportunity to tour across the country. Never thought I'd get to do that. We wrote a book. Never thought I'd get to do that. Sadly, it came out in like October of Canada 150.
Oh.
So people were like, enough with the Canada already.
It was beat over their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have been good to put out this year, right?
Would have been
We
good to
needed
put
a little
this year.
It's gotten a little resurgence.
Yeah, a little
this
sovereignty
year.
bump.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm proud to say it's a bestseller.
Yeah.
Which in Canada, I think, is 5,000 copies. I think we sold 15,000 copies.
You
That's
guess
awesome.
5,000 is a bestseller?
Yeah.
Jeez, we could do that.
We got to do...
We very much would like to take this show on the road, and we'd very much like to write a book.
We got to
To
build
our
our
experiences.
experience. Yeah.
manifest it.
Yeah. Oh, we're manifesting.
You're manifesting it.
Yeah.
First of all, you should tour because it's such a treat.
Yeah.
And doing it in front of an audience brings such an energy and enthusiasm that you will really enjoy.
Right.
And second of all, like, this is one of the genius qualities of Rick Mercer. He spends however many years doing Rick's rants on the Rick Mercer Report. There's a book.
Yeah.
Like you publish the rants.
Yeah.
You
Right.
guys could publish transcripts of 10 of your guests, and there's your book.
Well, yeah. So I got it like the 150 pints going to be the book. It's just we've had a lot of pints with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not signing the waiver. You can't use this.
No. You got to do waivers?
But I'll write the foreword. How's that?
Oh, there you go. We're holding that. This is recorded.
Yeah.
Binding contract.
We got a body contract.
And we got to make an album, which was the craziest thing ever.
Cool.
And Tim and Anthony from the Arkells played on it. Adam Baldwin played on it.
Oh, cool.
Jeremy is obviously just a world-class drummer.
Yeah.
So I have loved it. It's been great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And just before we move on to 10 questions, I'm going to give you a little bit of flowers here because I am such a huge fan of it. Like, I know most people probably run up to you and the J-Rock thing is probably the big thing, but personally, Chili is my favorite character that you do.
Thank you.
Because obviously Jerry being the lead role and everything, but Chili was my second favorite character. I think you were hilarious. But you must, like, my wife loves your show. She's a teacher. You must get, like, I imagine, must get a lot of love from teachers because you guys nailed it. Nailed it.
Well, I give Jerry in turn his flowers because I remember him saying early on, and your wife would know for sure, are there 750,000 teachers in Canada? The number,
something like that.
The number was inconceivable.
There's 9,000-ish in Nova Scotia, but it's like Ontario really opens it up. It's like, I don't know the number, but it's
insane.
It's like 100,000 teachers or something like that.
Wow.
So
Ontario alone.
Whatever that number is, I remember Jerry saying, if this show is true to teachers, it'll be a hit.
Yeah.
Because if they those are incredible ratings.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot from him. One was sometimes there's an urgency that drives making a TV show. We got to go, lunch in 20 minutes. We got to move. He had the confidence and focus to say, hang on, the scene's not working.
Yeah.
That joke's not landing. It's a comedy show. That's what we're here for. Let's reshoot it, or let's take a minute, or let's rewrite it. So it was really important to him, I think, always that the show be very true to teachers. He and I were pretty rarely in the same story. I was often in the B story. He was often in the A story. But
Except for when you went to Boston.
We had some great,
that was a great
A stories together. Yeah. Yeah. A couple of field trip kind of episodes and one in the woods. So yeah, it was important to him that it be true to teachers for sure.
Yeah, I think it hit that because my wife likes to that's like throwing Mr. D to go to, as I fade off to sleep type of thing, kind of thing, right?
Great.
That's her show. Like
I'm going to say something a little different.
Entertainment that puts people to sleep. That's exactly what we set out to do. Before we move on from that, flowers to teachers, because I have a family member who's a teacher. I have children who are students, and I know, and back to Tim Houston, how do you address the magnitude of the challenges that stem from an impatient, short attention span student body to sometimes a lack of parameters at home, to teaching to 8 different learning levels in the same classroom with not the resources to have assistants in your class. Like, God bless teachers. And a general lethargy on the wave of this POCO, which is a phrase I'm trying to get to take off for post-COVID universe.
POCO.
Yeah. POCO, there is a general lethargy. There is a collective shoulder shrug.
Get in the transcripts. Hashtag POCO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were going to ask something.
Oh, yeah. So
you said you were going to go a different direction. You say shit on him or something?
Oh yeah, totally. Well, so J Rock, so he's
Mr. Chile sucked, and here's why.
Not quite. J Rock was not my favorite character at first, but I appreciated his evolution as he came on, because when he came on, I grew up around a lot of guys that like hip hop music, and I'm like, this is hitting a little too close to home, buddy.
Right? What's so funny about it? That's just Kenny from my math class.
Yeah, I was like, I know that guy, right? I was like, I don't think you should be making fun of him like that. But then eventually, as he started getting into his more entrepreneurial endeavors, I think I'd give him his flowers towards the end there. He did a good job.
I think one of the things that cemented the character for me was in the prequel, J-Rock and T were into grunge.
Oh,
so we sort of established a history of this guy paper dolling different pop culture trends onto himself.
That's great.
On his quest to discover a personality and self. And I remember someone asking around season 4, do you ever feel sorry for J-Rock? And I swear to you, it had never occurred to me that you would. And it's kind of the same with Chile. I've said before, overconfident and underqualified to me that's the intersection of what I personally find really funny.
Oh yeah.
And most of the characters that I've played have that underneath.
Well, cheers to you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into our 10 questions?
Yeah. We'll
Awesome.
do 10 questions. Why don't you do, instead of going back and forth, because sometimes you lose track, why don't you just do first 5, I'll do last 5.
Sometimes I lose track.
We just changed the format.
All right, we
like
just
that.
did.
Why don't we do it Jeopardy style, where I give the answer and then you have to say what the question was?
What is?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I even read this? You've been a teen TV host, an actor, a comedy legend, a podcaster, entrepreneur, and now a creator of your own shows.
Pass. I get one pass, right?
Wage $500.
Why do you think you continue to move around in so many different areas?
I think it's a couple of things. Is this like a speed round sort of format?
Quick or as slow as you want. You can do whatever you want.
I think it's a couple of things. One is, after being on Street Sense for a few years, I applied to Ryerson because I wanted to study doing this for a living. The woman that I spoke to was like, just do it. Be nice, learn people's names, be on time, say please and thank you. So I think I've been able to work a lot for those very kindergarten rule, very basic reasons.
Right.
And I think I've been open to things that have come my way. And as long as I don't have a moral opposition, I've said yes.
Good answer.
Improv as an approach to life. Yes, and.
Your character, J-Rock, is still quoted everywhere. When you hear people repeat those lines a day, does it feel like an old tattoo you can't get rid of, or a legacy you're grateful for?
Oh, the latter, for sure.
Yeah?
Like, who would have ever imagined in 2000, when we were bringing Cheese Whiz sandwiches from home and sitting on Coleman coolers between takes in clothes we got at Value Village, trying to make each other laugh, who would have ever imagined we'd be sitting here talking about it today?
100%.
It continues to be bananas. However, I
appreciate the however.
As much as I enjoy bumping into people who love the show. I got a message just this morning from a guy from Wales who was like, man, just want to say what a masterclass in acting that character was. Love those messages. They're very meaningful.
Yeah.
However, I think one of the things that has served me, see the previous question, is turning the page before people are sick of the book.
That's good.
Perfect. Question 3. If your career was a pint glass, what is it most filled with?
I thought you were going to say, what size would it be? I was going to have to say shot glass and then skulk out of here. I don't even remember the end of the question.
Pint glass. Okay. What's your pint glass filled with the most? Luck, talent, hustle, timing, or Timbits?
I'm going to tell you what my glass is.
Sure.
Half full.
There you go.
Oh, good answer.
That's my outlook for everything.
Optimistic.
I don't know what's in it,
But you don't know what's in it.
Yes, I can bright side anything.
Happy mystery liquid.
This place is on fire, which is great because I was cold.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was taking that a different way, but I also like that. I was thinking you were saying like half full because you're only half done yet. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
too.
No.
No.
Let's be honest. I'm 5/6 of the way done.
Question number 4 for you.
Have you ever said sorry for something that you still don't feel you should have apologized for?
Yes, for sure. And this is an ongoing conversation I have with especially the young people I work with. If I'm being honest, especially young women that I work with, there is a instinct, I think, especially in this part of the world, to say sorry for things that don't require an apology.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't be sorry for something you had no way of knowing.
Mm.
So the downside when you say, I'm sorry, and I understand the instinct, because the instinct is, oh, I regret that happened.
Right.
But you can't help after a while, if every time someone opens their mouth, they apologize. You
Right.
can't help but think like, man, they're dropping balls all over the place. All they ever do is apologize, right?
Yep.
Sorry about that. So I'm sure I've done it. That might be why it's high on my radar of things that I try to help people work through.
Not do. Awesome. You phone 1 second. Forgot my face.
Question number 5.
Question number 5. What show or movie that you watched growing up, this is not something you've been a part of, but something you just absorbed as a kid or teen or even now, that you'd love a chance to remake or create a sequel to? Infinite budget,
boy.
any project or thing you ever saw that influenced you?
Well, when you said what show when you were growing up, immediately Kids in the Hall popped into my head because I thought it was going to be influenced you the most, or it's interesting. That was the first show I saw that I was like, those are my people. That's my language. I understand what they're saying. And I thought it was made just for me. I don't know that you could ever recreate it. It was of a time and it was lightning in a bottle. So what remake could actually work? Beachcombers.
There you go. Great,
Yeah.
great pick. Yeah.
Question number 6. This is a very deep and philosophical question.
Okay.
Who would win in a fight, J-Rock or Chile?
Chile would fight dirty. Chile would fight dirty. He'd probably be slappy and like hair pulley and like bird kicky. So I would say Chile, surprisingly.
No, I'm with it.
And J-Rock's pants are so low, like he probably couldn't move very fast.
Can't kick.
Yeah. And he talks a big game.
It's true.
Yeah.
Question number 7. So we established you went to St. Pat's High. So if you had 100% control over what gets built on that site because it's been sitting empty, what would you choose?
Like a street sense museum, like that's just for my my own enjoyment, because I sort of tie those two things together. Like my universe was CBC on Bell Road, Freeman's, McDonald's on Quinpool, St. Pat's. Like my whole childhood is just imploding geographically because none of those places is there anymore.
Yeah.
Freeman's is.
Freeman's, yep.
I mean, there are so many answers from serious to comedic. The serious one would be a whole bunch of affordable housing. That would be great.
Yeah.
And obviously a challenge in Halifax right now. I think the city's having real growing pains. It's a peninsula. There are no new arteries or avenues into it. I read a very compelling post by my friend, a TV producer named John Wesley Chisholm this morning.
Saw it. Yeah.
About the sheer volume of cars and how
saturated.
The math doesn't math.
Yep.
And I've been thinking that the last few times I've been in Halifax, as exciting as growth is, I've been thinking the city doesn't work right now.
No, it doesn't work. I agree with that. Yeah.
Which is a shame, and it will again, and it has before, but at this moment it's too much. I guess that's the earnest answer.
It's a good answer. Really good answer. All right, question number 8. So being quote unquote known comes with some negative consequences. What is something that you wish fans or the public wouldn't do?
Oh, I love this question. When I started, people might say, "You're on Street Sense." Yeah. My Uncle Danny was on that show. Oh, really? Yeah, he did an illegal curve and hockey stick story. Oh, no, from Glace Bay? Yeah, cool. Yeah. What's he up to? Well, actually, he just started going to MUN. Interesting. We've connected. We've exchanged information. We've had a moment. Mm-hmm. Now the exchange is very transactional. It's you're J-Rock, right? Phones out, cameras up, selfie time. Okay. I understand it's part of the job. It's not taxing. It's not complicated. If the picture is low angle with a flash when I'm coming out of Sobeys in the winter and it's dark, the picture is not flattering and people are like, J-Rock let himself go. If I say no, they're like, you know who I met who's a dick? I always say you start in this job with at a dick deficit. People assume you're one. Yeah. So to get to, who's not bad requires a certain amount of energy to get to, who's a great guy, you practically have to give someone a deed for a piece of land. So I personally, I enjoy meeting people. I wish the interaction was a little more tethered to an exchange.
Right.
So
authenticity.
Yeah. I enjoy a message that's like, my aunt taught you in junior high. Yeah. No way. What's she up to? Yeah. Versus you're that guy. I get nothing from that. Although I recognize, I always say people take half an hour a week to watch the show. I can take 10 seconds to say thank you. It's just part of the job.
Fair enough. 10 seconds adds up quick, though.
Yep.
When it's thousands of them, right?
Well, and my life by design has very little to do with what I do. So we live in the quiet and visit the noise.
That's awesome. So question number 9. So you were on Joe Schmo. So created by Rhett.
Yeah.
So who also wrote Deadpool. So if you were asked to appear in a Deadpool movie, what obscure power would you pick?
I would want to be able to guess the key of any song on the radio.
Okay.
Could you imagine being with that guy? In the time of need, he'd be like, A minor. Yeah. So mad.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, yeah. Kendrick Lamar.
A minor.
Shadow. Yeah.
Shadow.
Can you imagine how soul crushing it must have been to hear the entire Super Bowl audience, who is arguably not entirely Kendrick's audience, but everybody knows that?
Yeah.
I couldn't
it's
believe he was allowed to do that song, given the subject matter. I couldn't believe the crowd that was there knew it.
I couldn't believe, the whole thing started. Drake didn't even really diss the guy. He just said he was in the top 3 with Kendrick, and Kendrick wrote that song.
I know.
It's like, whoa, that's a weird response.
I know.
Pretty aggressive.
I know. You're having a thumb war that becomes a slap fight. And you're like, I didn't know those were the rules.
Fair enough. So question number 10, this is the question that we've asked everyone who comes on the show this year. What is one piece of advice that you were given that you'd like to give to us?
I'm going to cite my father-in-law, who drops truth bombs on me all the time. And I have been guilty of this. And this is something that I've been considering a lot lately, because one of the downsides of getting your head spun around by shiny things is I'll think like, there's a motel for sale. That would be cool. And he's like, would it? Do you want to wait for Trent and Tina from Winnipeg, whose flight's been delayed 3 hours, to give them a set of keys to their room at 1 a.m? Harsh reality check. Yeah. So he always says, quick sidebar, which is actually a great name for a podcast too.
Yes.
When I bought the trailers, he said you should get them undercoated. So I spent a week undercoating them. And he rolls up in his truck, never shows up when I'm killing it, only when I'm like up to my forehead in grease. He's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm undercoating the trailers, but I don't really know. How long have you been doing it? This is day 6. He's like, hire someone who undercoats for a living to do it in 2 hours, and you've just bought back 6 days of your life to do the thing you don't actually suck at. It's false economy is the phrase.
Yeah.
So the piece of advice I would give you guys is, instead of doing 13 things half-assed, pick 2 and go hard at them.
That's good.
Good advice.
It's very good advice. Yeah.
Might be advice I'm giving myself in your presence, but I find myself thinking about that a lot.
No, yeah. Well, we got a lot of ideas going back and forth, so that's great advice for us too.
It's also just good to accept there are some things you're not great at, or many things,
never accept.
and focus on the ones that you're great at.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We have a couple things. We have a bunch of things we want to do, but I think we have like 3 or 4
Starting to
things.
streamline them. We're getting better. Yeah. We're writing notes and we're whittling them down.
We have a TV show idea and podcast, obviously, book.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And it all serves the same thing. This podcast, as it grows and gets more traction, will increase your profile, will increase people's awareness of you. And then when you want to do something else,
It becomes easier.
Well, that's something on the resume. Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, this has been an honor.
Yes.
thanks, fellas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
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 Your glasses are empty.
And thank you for listening.
And mine is half,
Half
full.
full. Oh, man, you planned that.
Oh, man, we planned that the whole show. Thank you to Parashat Asia Thai Food
Yeah.
and to our sponsors and listeners. Have a great day.
Wait, you have sponsors and listeners?
Yeah, both.
Oh, this is pro.
Oh, okay. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to The Afternoon Pint. We are an independent podcast and we need your support. Please take a moment to hit that like, follow, and share button. Email us if you have an idea or suggestion for the show. Please send your feedback. We'd love to hear from you.